डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Hello friends, Namaskar. This is Dr. Jaini Shah, Assistant Professor of English from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University. And I welcome all the students and learners across the platform to this video lecture series that the university is recording to be put on the portal Omkar E. Today I have come in front of you with a very interesting short story that is called The Postmaster. It is written by Rabindranath Tagore. Here you can see the picture of Rabindranath Tagore. He was born in 1861 and he passed away in 1941. Now, you know friends, he was the first Indian ever to have won Nobel Prize in Literature. And that is why Rabindranath Tagore has a mighty contribution in literature across languages, be it Bengali literature or English literature. And he has some of his very famous works to his credit. And we are going to learn one such short story which is written by Tagore. But before that, we must know a little bit of background of the author Tagore. So moving further, Tagore was a Bengali poet. He was also a writer. He used to write novels. Even he used to write songs. He was a composer and philosopher as well as a painter. So we can say that Rabindranath Tagore was a man with many talents, not just one. He has won Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1913. And due to his contribution, he is often regarded as the Bard of Bengal. Now, the Bard of Avon is Shakespeare's title. William Shakespeare is also called as the Bard of Avon. Similarly, Rabindranath Tagore is also referred to as the Bard of Bengal. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art, for he included modernism in the late 19th and early 20th centuries in his works. In 1877, he published his first short stories and dramas which were written under his real name. And what kind of subject matters he dealt with? He was a humanist, universalist, internationalist and ardent anti-nationalist, and all of these ideologies were reflected in his writings as well. He denounced the British Empire, he denounced the British Raj, and he advocated independence from Britain. He was a pro for this dream and this vision of India being independent from the British rule, and he worked for that as well. His novels, stories, songs, dance dramas, even essays explored topics which were ranging from political to personal. So he would write on number of topics, number of subject matters which ranged from political as well as to personal. Now, he is known, he is very famous for his works such as Gitanjali, which are song offerings, and Gora is a novel, it's written in Bengali, but we call it Fair Faced, and these are his best known works. He is also known for his compositions, one of which is our national anthem, India's national anthem, that is Jana Gana Mana. It is composed by none other than Rabindranath Tagore. And he is also credited with composing national anthem for Bangladesh. And that song, that anthem is called Amar Shonar Bangla in Bengali language. Coming over to short stories by Tagore. Earlier, we have known his general corpus of work, what he wrote on, what was the subject matters, and what kind of ideology he had. Now, coming specifically to short stories written by Tagore, so there are 4 years in his writing career, years ranging from 1891 to 1895. These 4 years are known as Tagore's sadhana period. Okay, sadhana period in which he wrote some of his most fulfilling works, and it is also entitled as Galpagucha. Now, Galpagucha is a collection of 84 short stories written by Tagore, which were produced in his sadhana period. In these short stories, he explored the topic which involved Pan-India. Pan-India meaning to say he beheld the lives of India's poor and common people. Tagore thereby took to examining their lives with a penetrative depth and feeling that was singular in Indian literature up to that time. So Tagore is credited to have explored that part of India which was unexplored till now. So he actually went into depth of the lives of ordinary common people, poor people of India, which formed the majority portion of India's population. And that is something path breaking for any novelist or any songwriter or any music composer for to do that in Bengali as well as English literature. And Tagore has done that. Now, in particular, short stories such as Kabuliwala, which you must have studied in school, and it is very famous piece of writing. Kabuliwala is written by Tagore. The Hungry Stones is also written by him, as well as Atithi. Which now these short stories have analytical focus on the downtrodden population of our nation. So this is what about short stories of Rabindranath Tagore, and one such short story we are going to deal with today. So I hope you have got a little bit of understanding that what kind of short story you are going to expect from Tagore. So everyday lives of all sorts of people, higher class, that is upper class, middle class, as well as the lower class. And there is equal attention and reverence paid to characters from all walks of life. He valued humans above any class or caste discriminations, which was very mainstream in that part of India in which Tagore existed. Characters' own ethical merits or peculiarities, not any sort of class or ethnic identity. So his focus was on building characters who were in-depth, building characters who were dynamic, having their own sense of thoughts, having their own ideologies, apart from making them just caricatures who would represent the class they belong to. So Tagore focused more on characterization. That is what we are told over here. Next, now coming to the short story for the lecture. As I said, it is called The Postmaster. It was written in the year 1891, and this is how the portrait of the cover page of the story looks like. You can see the postmaster, and you can see a young girl who is standing behind the postmaster, and she is obviously sad. And the postmaster, we can see the suitcase in his hand, and we can see that he is departing. He is going away from the house that is shown. So let us see what happens in the story. It was originally written in Bengali language by Tagore, and then later it was translated into English. Now, just a little bit of information that there are similar sounding titles in English literature which are related to the postmaster, so better not be confused with the titles. We have the title called The Post Office, which is a drama, which is a play, also written by Rabindranath Tagore. And then we have a short story which is titled The Letter. The Letter is a very famous story in which there is a setting of post office, and there are very two famous characters called Ali and Mariam. Now that short story is written by Dhoomketu, and it is written in Gujarati, published in the year 1926. So these three works of literature have the background of post office, postmaster, and letters, but better not be confused with the titles, because we are dealing with a short story that is written by Tagore, and that is called The Postmaster. Okay, so now moving further to the summary, that what the story actually is all about. The Postmaster is set in a village that is called Ulapur. It is a village in Bengal during the 19th century, during the British Empire. The British owner of an indigo dye factory has persuaded the government, the British government, to set up a post office in this village. And in this post office, a man from Calcutta, a man from a city, is employed as a postmaster in the village post office. So initially he finds himself unfit to be adjusted in a small town, in a small village, because he's coming from the city background. He belongs to upper caste, and so for a city bred man who has born and brought up in a metro city like Kolkata, he finds it difficult to adjust to the people, to the surroundings, to the minimum facilities that are available in a small village of Ulapur. So, and also people are less educated than they are in the city, and they have little time to socialize because they all work hard in the indigo factory. The postmaster, though, has not much work to complete, and so he spends time by writing poems about the natural surroundings, which is the one thing beautiful that he finds in the village. Now, despite his small salary, what he does is he asks an orphaned village girl whose name is Ratan to complete housework for him, for which she receives some of his food. So he finds this teenage girl who is 12 or 13 years old. The author does not specify the particular age of Ratan. He tells him that the girl is 12 or 13 years of age, a very young girl who is an orphan. Her parents are no more, and Ratan is employed, not exactly employed, because whatever work she does, the household chores of the postmaster's family, the postmaster gives food that is left over. So Ratan does all his work, all the household chores or the domestic work, and then the postmaster feeds her. The postmaster's loneliness leads him to strike up a conversation with Ratan. Now, since most of the time Ratan is in the house, both of them start talking to each other, sharing their thoughts and stories of family members. Even though her class status is distinct from his, there is a class divide. Ratan is a poor girl with minimum. Ratan is a poor girl, and postmaster is from a well-to-do family. The two recount stories from their childhood, and they become close friends, talking at night to each other. Ratan begins to think of postmaster as her own, but the postmaster continues to long for a close companion to abet his loneliness. Now, it so happens that Ratan is a young girl and she finds postmaster as uh, an elderly brother, and she starts connecting with him emotionally, whereas the postmaster does not have any sort of attachment with Ratan because he is longing for a companion who could be his life partner. And so the story moves further. Now, it also happens that postmaster, whenever he's free, he tries to teach Ratan to read and write, and it helps Ratan to become literate. However, eventually postmaster becomes ill because he has not really adjusted to the village, to the town he is living in. He has not been able to socialize, he has not been able to mingle with the people who reside in the town, and he is even longing for a partner, and due to that he becomes ill. Now, in this difficult phase, Ratan nurses the postmaster, soothing his illness and loneliness with feminine tenderness. Now, it is due to Ratan's care that the postmaster is able to recover speedily. But after that, he has made up his mind. He has thought to leave his post in the village, and he applies for a transfer. But eventually, it so happens that the transfer is not guaranteed, and they do not approve the transfer that he is seeking to the city. And so he takes this tough decision of quitting his job altogether, because if there is no other option left, he is so sick that he cannot continue living over here. Now, the postmaster explains that he is departing Ullapur, that he is leaving Ullapur, that he is leaving the job, he is leaving the village, and he is leaving Ratan as well. The news devastates Ratan because she has felt this bond that the postmaster is her elder brother. She is able to relate with him. She likes staying with him. She was an orphan girl. She has found a good company in the postmaster, but it so happens that it is cut short in between, and it is unexpected, and so it makes Ratan very sad. Desperate, Ratan asks the postmaster to take her home with him. Ratan proposes to the postmaster that, why don't you take me along with you wherever you are going? I will stay there and I'll continue to do your service. I will continue to do your domestic chores, and why don't you take me along? And the postmaster replies with disbelief. What he says? How could I do that? How could I take you? Because for the postmaster, Ratan is just a girl who does all his domestic work. The postmaster assures Ratan that whoever takes up this post of the postmaster, the next person who will be employed to this position, he will also take good care of you like I was taking care of you. The postmaster then, before leaving, he tries to give Ratan a sum of money, a little bit of salary, you can say, for whatever work she has done. But Ratan refuses the payment and she runs away. Now understand that here is an orphan girl who is poor with limited means of living. She does not have an immediate family to look after her. And she is big enough to understand the importance of money. But what she does, she refuses to take the sum of money which the postmaster offers. Why? We will come to know. The postmaster travels by boat to Calcutta and recalls Ratan's grief-stricken face, which speaks a great, inarticulate, universal sorrow. Ratan refused money because for her, this whole episode of the postmaster coming to the village and she doing his work was all of an emotional investment. She looked up to the postmaster as her elderly brother, and for her, it was service done out of selfless love. It was not a conditional way of doing service that I serve you and you give me money. It was not that for Ratan. And so she refused the sum of money. Now, postmaster knows that Ratan is grieving, Ratan is sad on his leaving, but he cannot do anything about it because he realizes that he cannot go back to her, and he ponders that there are many separations and many deaths that pervade life. Now, here as a reader, we come to know Tagore's philosophical side when the narrator speaks of many separations and many deaths that pervades one's life. We as mortal human beings, we have to face many separations which are for various purposes. We cannot guarantee that whomsoever we meet in our life, they are going to be with us for a lifetime, because there are many such instances where people are left behind. Either death separates them, right? So there are many separations, and one such was the separation of Ratan and the postmaster. Ratan, left behind in Ulapur, nurses a faint hope. She still likes to believe that something will happen and the postmaster will return to the village and will return to her. But she does not know that she is nurturing a delusional thought, a false hope, some phase that the postmaster will come back to her. But it is sadly, the reality is that nothing of that sort is going to happen. The postmaster has left the village, and in reality he is not going to come back to the village or to the Ratan or to Ratan. Now, here is a very interesting point to note, students, that the story is entitled as The Postmaster. On the surface, you feel that the postmaster is the main character, but throughout the story, the writer, that is Tagore, does not name the person. He is always referred as the postmaster. Whereas Ratan, who is the second character in terms of importance, if you see the title, she is given the name, despite of the fact that she is a random orphan girl, poor by her means. She is given the name, and the postmaster, who belongs to the upper class, he has a job, he is a city-bred man, very intelligent, he's writing poems, he's not given name. And at the end, there is a shift in sympathies. We sympathize with Ratan, and Ratan becomes an important character rather than the postmaster. So here are the characteristics of the postmaster. I will just go through it quickly because we have talked about it. A young city-bred man from Calcutta. He's posted in Ulapur, where he felt like a fish taken out of water, so it's difficult for him to survive. He feels lonely in the village, he feels displaced, he does not belong to the village. He is an intellectual and a profound thinker, and he pacifies his longing for a companion by his writing poetry. And eventually he gets sick, he develops an illness, and he applies for transfer, which is rejected, and so he decides to leave the job and he leaves the village as well. Coming to Ratan, who is 12 or 13 years old, who is an orphan, who helps the postmaster with housework in return for some food. She grows immensely attached to the postmaster, referring to him as Dada Babu. Now, Dada Babu is a common Bengali term giving respect to an elder brother, and so Dada Babu. Ratan calls the postmaster by this named Dada Babu. Ratan takes care of him and nurses him like a mother. After his departure, she wanders near the post office, weeping, hoping that he might return to her. Coming to the analysis of the story, what we come to know is that there is a class divide. Clearly, the postmaster denotes the upper class. The behaviorism, the mannerism of upper class Bengali people are described with the character the postmaster, and Ratan signifies the lower class of the society. There are two extremes of natural and exquisite landscape which are defined, which are delineated by Tagore. They both, now here is a merging point where a man from upper class and where a lady, a girl, a very young girl from lower class. There are two divides, two opposite, upper class, lower class, and even gender, male and female. How they develop an attachment, how they both share the talks which are related to their family members, and how postmaster educates Ratan. Bond is strengthened, more strengthened when postmaster becomes ill and Ratan takes care of him. But it so happens that the postmaster laughs out Ratan's proposal that, can I come with you? Can you take me along with you? But instead, now here the emotional bonding from the postmaster's side is all washed away when he offers Ratan a sum of money for the services that she has done. And the postmaster finally thinks that who belongs to whom in this world? There are many separations in this world where human beings depart from each other. They are no longer with each other. So no one, now this all takes us on a philosophical side that no one belongs to the other person in the world, and who belongs to whom in this world, right? So rural versus urban description, artistic inspiration and modernization, the Indigo factory and the British Empire, the description of post office, everything is juxtaposed between rural and the urban. Gender and class inequality, loneliness in search for meaning. So separation from family, orphanhood, departure from Ulapur and Ratan, all of that, it signifies loneliness and one's search for meaning, one's search for the purpose of life. It also talks about emotional dependency. Brother figure seeks a life partner to share his emotions. So emotions of Ratan are described. But on the other hand, the postmaster is longing for someone else with whom he can share his joys and sorrows and his ideologies that he has, because he is an intellectual thinker, he is a profound thinker, he is a writer as well. Now here is the quote from the story itself. These are the ending lines that are written by Tagore and before he winds up the story. So it goes like that. Alas, the mistaken human heart. I will also side by side explain you. The author says that human heart is mistaken. It falls so many times because its delusions never end. Delusions are false faiths, false hopes, which are not in relation to reality. Something which you dream of, something which you hope of, which is in total contrast to whatever your life is in reality. So its delusions never end, and the laws of reason enter the mind after much delay. Disbelieving incontestable evidence, it embraces false hope with both arms and all its might to its breast. In the end, one day, severing the umbilical cord and sucking the heart empty of blood, it flees. There is then a return to one's right senses, and the mind grows restless again to embrace its next delusion. So the words are difficult. Sentence structure is complex. It might take 1 or 2 readings to understand the entire quote that the Tagore has put in the story. But what it tries to say is that we as human beings, we are thinking beings. And many a times, or most of the times, our brain takes us on an imaginative trail. That is, either you visualize something, or you dream of something, or you fantasize something which you want in your life. It may vary from personal achievement to professional achievement, to your dreams, to your aims, to your targets, to your goals. You hope of something which is in contrast to your reality. So many a times we visualize things which are not possible in reality. And that is exactly what Tagore says, that human mind is so delusional that it longs to achieve so many things which are not possible in reality. So over here, we have an example of Ratan, who is nursing a false hope. Because she is emotionally connected to the postmaster, she wants him to return to her, which in reality is never going to happen. So the author knows that Ratan for some time is going to weep, she is going to nurse a false hope, and with the passage of time, she will again embrace towards next delusion. Something will happen in her life that she will start thinking about achieving that dream or that goal. So it happens with each one of us. Time to time, our dreams, our hopes, our faiths, they either if they get fulfilled, we start of thinking another, or if they are unfulfilled with the passage of time, we hang on to the other goal, other dream, other targets, other hopes. So that is with this philosophical nugget, Tagore ends the story. Now here are some of the basic questions to check your understanding, whether you have understood the story or not. Discuss about Tagore's body of work and the subject matter of his novels and short stories, which was discussed in the earlier portion of the lecture. So you can refer to that and you can answer the question. Second question is, summarize the short story, The Postmaster. And the third question is, draw character sketches of Ratan and the Postmaster. Also describe the major themes of the story. And the last one is the interesting question, which would require some thinking process for you to answer it. In a few lines, describe a different ending to the story. Say, for example, I'm not happy with the ending of the story. For example, I'm not happy because I wanted the postmaster to stay with Ratan. And maybe there could be some another ending. So why not do some thinking exercise and write your ending to the story? If this was the story, what would be your ending to the story? So I hope you will be able to answer these questions. And lastly, here are suggested readings for further reading. For in-depth analysis of the story, you can either go to the links that are given over here, or you will be able to read the primary story, the story from the Gutenberg Project e-book of stories by Rabindranath Tagore. This book has the primary text of the story. Even it is there in the self-learning material of the university, and it's available in Gujarati also with the title Rabindranath Tagore'ni Shresth Vartao. So you can refer to this suggested reference books and links, and you can have a better understanding of the story. Yeah, so this is it from my side, friends. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for joining with us, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye until I meet you next time. Thank you.
स्वाध्यायः परमं तपः